Good evening. It's Vijay here. Today is Sunday, 5th of October 2025. Welcome to our reflections on Sunday. Every Sunday we do this where we talk about issues, not only about the market commentary, but about issues affecting the market for the next week and maybe weeks thereafter. Now, you've people who have been following me know that I've been a precious metals bull since 2024. In fact, we started buying gold and silver early 2023 after getting data which said that global central bankers were buying heavily during and after the Ukraine war started. That was in 2022, but identified in 2023, and we went a bigger proportion from 24 onwards. We used to buy 30% of our portfolio used to be in our family portfolio used to be in precious metals, which is a split between gold and silver. However, in the last 8 weeks, we have moved it to 50%. I had mentioned this in my one of those Sunday reflections, which was about early September. Early September, that we had moved to 50. Now, subsequently, we've also gone into base metals. I'll explain to you what our rationale has been. But before that, there have been lots of questions and challenges to us, to our thesis, that are we overdoing our, focus and weightage in precious metals specifically, as to why are you getting into 50%, which is huge, 25% in gold, 25% in silver, and are you not taking a risk? Is it not in a bubble? And today, everyone is talking of a bubble in the gold and silver market. Why? Because people thought silver and gold were dead metals. They did nothing, and whenever they went up, they also fell down significantly. So they felt it's not worth investing. It is better to invest in equities. Equities are less risky than precious metals. This is the general feeling. However, this year has been a very bad year for equities. If you take from last September itself, it has been very bad. So very few stocks have really done well. Therefore, when you see gold and silver doing well, it's like your neighbor's envy. You see, you are seeing something which was considered dead is doing well, whereas equities which we thought were better are doing poorly, especially at a portfolio level. There are many stocks which have done well this year, but so the first thing will be how can it go up? And then you see when it goes up and makes, for instance, gold made an all-time high, they said, my God, now it is in a bubble territory. Silver has been going up steadily, and people think silver is in a bubble territory. Especially gold, everybody is attacking because it is in an all-time high. So in this episode, I would like to give you facts, because one thing is to say we are in a bubble and we are, these things will crash, it cannot go up and all that. Now, our analysis has always been based on facts. Without facts, we do not speak. And I would like to present facts, and then you decide where we are. So today it may take some time, but nevertheless, I wish that you join me at the end of this episode. Okay. Now the question is this a bubble? So what is a bubble? A bubble is when prices grow beyond their true value. Now, true value can be probably determined in stocks or in bonds, because in stocks you have earnings per share and growth. You can project growth, or the management itself projects growth, so you can decide whether it is in a bubble territory. What about in precious metals? It's very difficult because there is no earnings per share, no bonus, no corporate benefits. So it's very difficult to define there. The only thing we can do is what has happened in the past. So another way of defining a bubble is that very short span of time it shoots up. The prices shoot up in a very short span of time, like it may triple or quadruple and all that. Any asset class for the matter. So, and then there is extreme media's attention, enthusiasm, greed, delusion, and people think we are in a new paradigm. This, for instance, if you look at stocks, it has happened in 1992 for us, 2000, 2008, and to some extent in 2018 for the mid and small caps. So therefore, let us examine whether we are somewhere there. Now let us take a popular stock called Zomato. Now Zomato this year has gone up by 76%. Huge. And Zomato has no earnings. So is Zomato a bubble? The question we have to ask ourselves. Now, if you see, the big guys are sitting in Zomato, and every day they are coming on TV and saying that this is the best stock to invest because it is India focused. So no need to worry about Trump, and this is the stock of the future without earnings, 76% in this year. So should we be asking that question? Is something which you have to all think. Maruti, Maruti, people said it is in a auto sector is not doing well, and auto sector got limited scope because they have not done well in the past. Growth rates have been at best 10% for auto sector, 53%. Okay, that's Maruti. So people may say Maruti, Kotak Mahindra, 51%. People may say it is because of GST, but this is, I'm talking about from this beginning of this year, it has gone up by 51%. These are all weekly charts. Then let's look at BEL. BEL has gone up by 82% in this year. Now you may say BEL defense because government is now focusing on defense. So therefore BEL it can go up. But 82% is a question mark. And BEL is not done great. They might get orders, but execution takes time and profitability comes up very much later because the government is the client. And when government is the biggest client, the payments come very slowly. Look at Canara Bank. Canara Bank, again, a dull bank. It is not a very prominent bank. If you look at what strategists talk of, they always talk of State Bank of India. The next bank will be Bank of Baroda, if as far as the PSU banks are concerned. And then maybe Punjab National Bank, maybe Indian Bank. Canara Bank is nowhere. We hold Canara Bank, incidentally. So Canara Bank is up 60% this year. Now, Laurus Labs. Again, Laurus Labs is a very tricky lab that stock. Too many people are having too strong interest. People say it is bogus labs. People are saying they're padding up the results. People are saying that no results are not worth it. On the other hand, you have the diehard bulls who are saying, look at the price. We have made money. So what is your problem? 84% this year. Huge. Then let's look at a normal pharma company, Glenmark. Glenmark has gone up by 79%, close to 80%. So are we saying Glenmark is in a bubble? BEL is in a bubble, Laurus is in a bubble. Then take Railtel. Railtel went up like anything 5 times in the year 23-24. Then it fell down. This year, it's gone up by 82%. Again, lots of orders. Performance is not great. Orders, the top line is great, but the bottom line is not that great. Last quarter, the results were poor. So 82%, poor results. Railway sector, competition is there. It takes time for the companies to execute the projects. So, is it in a bubble? Then you take precious metals versus base metals. Now, I'll show you something about the base metal index. Most people have forgotten about the base metals because they have not given you good results. Even JSW Steel kind of companies, they have not done well. Tata Steel, SAIL have not done really well, but only in the last few weeks they've started going up. But look at the base metals index. Base metals index is excluding gold and silver because that is not traded in the stock exchange through stocks. The gold and silver is traded through ETFs in the stock exchanges. So base metal index very silently on Friday has made an all-time high, and nobody talks of any of the components of the base metals. We are talking of Tata Steel or JSW Steel, SAIL, Hindustan Copper, Nalco, Hindalco. So many stocks are there. 15 stocks are there in the index, but nobody is even talking about them. They are not sexy enough. But people talk about defense. People talk about railways. People talk about pharma. People talk about FMCG. They talk about new India stocks like Swiggy, Zomato, Car Trade, and the like. But this has now quietly made an all-time high. The only other stock index which made an all-time high recently was Auto Index. Auto Index made also an all-time high. Again, nobody was talking about it when it made an all-time high. Now, in the last few days, people are talking about autos, especially four-wheelers. But base metals, nobody's talking. But you see what is happening to base metals. Hindustan Copper has gone up by 85%. 85%, one of the highest, rise in the last few months. I had made a video in April where I talked about is copper the new gold, and touch wood, our prediction has come right. It has gone up by 85%. So we are sitting on copper as Hindustan Copper as is. Tata Steel gone by 44%. Now, generally, Tata Steel hardly moves, has hardly moved in the last few couple of years, but silently it has gone up by 44%. Tata Steel, part of a metal index. Nalco. Again, Nalco is the most sluggish share you can think of. Again, in the last few weeks, last 4 or 5 weeks, if you see here, these are the last 5 weeks. These are all weekly charts, as I said. In the last 4 or 5 weeks, it has broken out of this pattern here, and then it's gone up now 62%. Then you take, sorry, what happened to this? No. Yeah. Then you take Hindalco. Hindalco, again, nobody talks about it, 45%. Slowly and steadily, it has moved up by 45%. Silver. Now, everybody talks of the precious metals and there is a bubble. Now, how much has silver gone up in 2025? 65%. 65%. It's not something, it has not gone up double, triple, or something for us to classify it as a bubble. You contrast 65 with Loras of 80s, Glenmark close to 80s, BEL above 80. Then you have Zomato, which is above 80. It is 65. And the reason why this silver has gone up is because today sovereigns are investing in silver. So Saudi Arabia is invested in the silver ETF of US. So India is one of the India's silver imports this time has been one of the highest. Russia is putting silver into their critical minerals. US is trying to do that, putting silver in critical minerals. China is buying. You have the sovereigns buying silver left, right, center, and it has still gone up only 65% vis-a-vis these stocks where there is no support excepting punters who are supporting and going up by 65%. Now look at silver itself. This is a yearly chart I put. If you take 1980, silver went up to $50. That time it was manipulated by what was known as the Hunt brothers, who were there. The two brothers manipulated silver and took it up to 80, and then they went bust, and silver also collapsed to about $1 over the next few years. After 20-25 years, again it started at rally somewhere in 2009-10, and then went up to again $50 in 2011. That is, between 80 and 2011 is nearly 30 years. It took 30 years to reach that double top. Then again it collapsed in 2011, and it came down to somewhere close to about $10. And from there, now it has again come to about $47. If you look at it comparatively, silver is still not gone to an all-time high. The all-time high was in 1980, which is 45 years. 45 years ago, you may say dollar value, inflation. I'm not talking of that. I'm simply talking of dollar value, because everything is measured in dollar value. So if you take a stock, then you should measure that in 2000 this was the value and not this, you see. So if you simply take like for likes, silver has not crossed 1980 levels. So how can this be in a bubble? Especially in 1980, we had speculative guys, those Hunt brothers. In 2011, there was no real reason. Nobody was buying, but again, speculation. In 2025, you have the sovereigns buying. You see, sovereigns, they don't care for RSI, Bollinger Band, or any other technical indicators, Gann theory or Elliott wave theory, or they are buying because they have a strategy to move away from dollar and US treasuries. So they are buying precious metals. So they are not going to sit down and see what is going to happen to whether retailers are going to struggle because silver prices have gone up, gold prices have gone up. They are looking at consolidating their reserves. When countries begin to adopt a strategy like this, no price is too high. The day they stop or the day they turn around, then no price is too low. Right now, they are only buying. Then you look at gold. Everybody talks of gold bubble, right? In 2025, it has gone up by only 45%. So many stocks have gone above 45%. I have shown you some examples. There are many, many such examples I've studied. I've just put a few examples because I don't want to continue this, episode for a long time. And you see the beautiful consolidation. You see, in 2024, it went up 40% in 8 months, but it consolidated for, this is a monthly chart. It consolidated for, weekly chart, sorry. It consolidated for a couple of months or 3 months. Here you see, again, it went up in 2025. Between April and August, it consolidated. And then it is broken out. This is classic bull market behavior. Classic bull market behavior. But everybody on the street is talking of a bubble. But Please ask them as to how much do they hold in their portfolios. They'll say 5%, 0 or 5%. I recently went to Madras. There was a seminar, very well organized, and I asked a question to one person who had mentioned gold. Among the 7 people, nobody mentioned gold excepting one person. And I asked him, what does he feel about gold? He said, I'm still to study gold. Gold has bottomed out 10 years ago, 2015. We are in 2025. How many years would you want to study gold, and when will you want to enter gold? Because everybody is afraid. They considered it dead. Now it has come above both silver and gold, above the grave, and it is moving, and they are not able to catch it. So they're hoping and praying that it comes down so that they are proven right. But sovereigns are sitting, and sovereigns are not accountable to people like you and me. So now the question is this a bubble? 45% in gold and 65% in silver. And see the smooth movement in gold specifically, which everybody's talking about gold. You see the smooth movement? Up, consolidate, up, consolidate, up. Again, it may consolidate. We don't know that. But we are trying to see how much it will go. Will it go to 4,000, 4,500, 5,000? How do we know? Especially when it is in all-time high territory and when sovereigns are buying, we do not know their strategy, when it will end. They don't have a price limit as far as I know. Look at this. Central bankers have returned to buying from in August. They're continuously buying. From 2022, they have been continuously buying. So again, they bought in August. This is blue, it shows gross buying. This orange is net. This one, orange is selling. So net buying is this blue line, the line which is going. The bars are, blue bar is buyer, buying quantity. Purple bar is selling quantity. The net is reflected by these lines, the blue line. So they've come back. So where are they now? What has happened? The world central bankers bought another 15 tons of gold in August. This marks the 27th monthly purchase over the last 28 months. So they have been buying every month over the last 3 years. Out of that, last 2.5 years, they're buying. 27 and 28. Continues. And the Bank of China has now acquired 2 tons, marking the 10th consecutive month increase in gold reserves. China is one of the biggest buyers in the market, and they are relentless. This data, I'm talking of August. September data we don't have. I'm very sure the September data will also show positivity, because that is what we have seen, anecdotal evidence, plus the central bankers in various countries talking about what their strategy is. So where is the bubble? Now, there is another interesting data here. This Bank of America did a fund manager survey. Bank of America does a fund manager survey. I think more than 100, maybe about 500 fund managers they poll. So 40% of the fund managers have zero allocation to gold as per Bank of America. 40%. In a bubble territory, when things are bubbly, you will have 100% of the guys owning, or at least 80-90% of the fund managers sitting on in gold. So 40% are not there. Zero. And among the remaining also, I don't have the data here, the allocation is very less. Today we are talking of Morgan Stanley talking of their model portfolio to be from 60-40. There is 60 in debt and 40 in 60 in equity and 40 in debt. They're talking of 60-20-20, 60 equity, 20 gold, and 20 in debt. So they want to move to that territory. The bond king, Gunluck, he says that it should not be surprised that it should not be surprising if people begin to own 25% of the portfolio in gold. 25%. And he's the bond king. He's not these guys, who's trying to push up gold. He's into bonds. He's not into equity also. But he's talking of gold, 25%. So now you are talking of a bubble when there is hardly anything. And hardly anything as far as the fund managers are concerned. 40% are not having. And price rise has been very moderate. Sovereigns are buying. Retail is not buying. Retail is only looking at it. We can have debates on CNBC. We can have debates on WhatsApp. End of the day, what have you done? So, now if you look at precious metals to base metals, whenever there is chaos, precious metals benefit. Now, the central bankers think, global central bankers think that there will be chaos in the following months, 2 years. So that is why they're loading onto precious metals. So if there is chaos, then precious metals will benefit. Let's say they're wrong. If there is growth, then base metals will benefit. I showed you Base metals, all-time high. Number of stocks have done very well. So what are we doing? We are, hedging precious metals and base metals. We have precious metals, base metals, and we spread into other stocks also. So we believe strongly either way. If chaos is there, precious metals will benefit, so our portfolio will benefit. If there is growth, the base metals will benefit, our portfolio will benefit. So if one of them is right, one of them is wrong, both of them are right, it cannot possible. So this is a perfect hedge. In fact, I don't like to hedge, but this is one opportunity where we have got where we can perfectly hedge with both precious metals and base metals and try to get the best of both worlds. Now that is what we have done. I'm not asking anybody to do whatever we have done, but I've given you data which clearly says nobody in his right mind can say that precious metals are in a bubble. Nobody. I've given you enough reasons. I hope you will take the right decision. Whatever you do, I hope it is successful. For joining me.